Hello, fam. Good day to all of you. Once again, my name is Arame Andre Amelify, and this is a build up on our last topic on relationship and personality. We shall be looking at a build up of who you are, your personality, which is mostly characterized and crystally seen by major traits, values, emotional patterns of thoughts, interest, your drives, that's the things that drive you as a person, the force, your philosophy and ideologies about life. It is important to know that we have a build-up, which are natural traits that make up who we are. And it is very important to note that you need a unique adjustment to your personality. I mean, a unique adjustment to these traits that make up who you are for you to be able to relate well in a civil and social society. Your personality is influenced by your temperament and experiences, which can develop and change as you become older. That is why you see some people change in behavior. Let's say when they were teenagers, you notice there are some things, interest, behavior, temper control, that they may be able to manage at certain degrees, and when they age or become older, they begin to improve on such adjustments. Now, what is temperament? Temperament is your very own nature. Just like you have the little cogs in an engine that are put together to make up an engine, the artifacts that come together to give meaning. These temperaments are your very own nature, that is your behavior, your nature that defines your behavior. And mostly they are made up of natural traits that you may have inherited from your parents, or we can say that are genetically determined. So earlier, I said that there are 4 distinctive temperaments, which are choleric, sanguine, melancholic, and phlegmatic. I repeat, choleric, sanguine, melancholic, and phlegmatic. Today we shall be talking about the choleric temperament. Now, who is the choleric? First and foremost, I would like to tell you that the cholerics are associated with the element fire, like red hot fire. These people who are choleric in nature, are burning. They have a desire that is beyond what people around them can imagine to succeed. Cholerics are people who never settle for the status quo. They are constantly driven by a force to redefining things. A choleric is a champion. A choleric is a winner. A choleric is a leader. They are born leaders. And this ambition in them for excellence makes them successful in whatever they do. They do not believe in statements like, it can't be done, this is impossible, how in the world would you conceive a thing like this? For cholerics, if you can think it, you can do it. Never say never. Never say never. That's a choleric for you. He doesn't believe that things cannot be done. In fact, he does and cannot even relate well with people that are myopic. He relates very well with champions. But it is important to note that If your temperament makes it unable for you, or makes it difficult for you to relate with certain people, with different people of different temperaments, then you need these unique adjustments I spoke about earlier. We shall further continue to see some of the positives about this temperament. Actually, it's a wow temperament. When someone is an achiever, someone is productive, so this person is someone you would love to identify with. Cholerics are highly motivated individuals. They are goal-oriented. They are decisive. They are assertive. That is, they are confident, and they have a forceful personality. Meaning, when a choleric wants something done, he does everything possible to get people on the same lane. He will do everything humanly possible to get people on the same page with him. He will do everything to convince you that this is possible and we can do it. And because he's afraid of failure, he doesn't want people around him not to believe in what he believes. He sees ahead. He sees what you can see. There's this usual saying that what an elder can see sitting, a young man cannot see even if he climbs the tallest of trees and all. No, for a choleric, it is not always so. A choleric is a visionary. He sees he sees very far ahead, and when he thinks it, he already has a roadmap towards achieving it, and something that you may see as impossible. Now, they are very pragmatic. That is, they are realistic. They base their actions on practical things. They don't believe in some theoretical, some theories that tells you whatever they read, see or hear, they would want to practicalize it. That's what is real to them. That's what makes sense to them when they practicalize and they see that it is actually doable, or it has been brought from ideas into its realistic state. Cholerics are very powerful people. Cholerics, if you don't understand a choleric personality, you may have problem working with them, because they are very disciplined, they are meticulous, they are time conscious, and they are devoted and committed to whatever they set to do. Now, these are all positive things about a choleric. Now, let us look at the weaknesses. What are the weaknesses of this personality? A choleric can be very impatient. For example, if there is a task ahead, the choleric would not rest or sleep until that task is done. So if there's anybody around him who is trying to procrastinate, who is trying to bring a setback, you will have a very serious problem with a choleric personality, because he wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take that. So he can be very impatient. Even waiting for something, he can be very impatient. A choleric is not one who is really ready to take turns. If they're on a queue, a choleric is so eager to be the first and want to cut corners. Another weakness of a choleric is they have a need for control and power. A choleric doesn't want to be a follower, and he tends to see everything wrong with leadership because he is not the one leading. He doesn't like following. He prefers to lead. And actually, like we said earlier, they are born leaders. So you have to be a very good leader to be able to convince a choleric or make a choleric to be a good follower. If not, a choleric will never appreciate your leadership. And then and sometimes this quest for power and leadership borders on dominance. They can be very toxic people when it comes to fighting for power. They can do anything possible to become a leader. Anything possible, because they have this domineering spirit and would want to dominate anywhere they find themselves. They are more prone to anger than any other temperament. A choleric is not an easygoing person. If you provoke a choleric, you will see fire. Remember, I told you the element that's associated with cholerism is fire. Fire. They are very prone to anger. They are often unwilling to apologize. That is one very negative aspect of this personality. Instead of apologizing, they would rather not even want to offend you, because the ego and pride in them would not let them apologize even when they do wrong, especially when they believe that what they did is insignificant or is not much of a big deal. A choleric will never apologize. To be free from the obligation to apologize, a choleric may manipulate the feeling of others. You can imagine manipulating someone's feeling into making them feel that they are wrong or they were wrong, when in reality they were right or are right. He will do everything possible. They are very smart people. So before you know it, they turn the things around and put the blame on you. And all this is in a bid not to apologize. So the cholerics can be very unapologetic about things. And they are often arrogant and overbearing. To those around them, it is difficult for them to tolerate you, especially when you're not up to speed, especially when you're slow, especially when you're not a goal-getter. The choleric personality will not tolerate you. I repeat, the choleric personality will not tolerate you. Remember, they are easily irritated and are bad-tempered. Little mistakes can change a choleric's personality's mood. Very little mistake. Like, for example, imagine if a choleric misses his turn on the road or on a highway. He can get so irritated because, he believes he's a perfect person that shouldn't make mistakes. So if he makes any mistake, he pounces on himself and feels very bad and terrible about his or her mistake. The choleric can get offended, can get irritated over trifles. Imagine a choleric in a restaurant, and he requests for a plate of rice, and the waiter brings a plate of beans. It will amaze you what a choleric would do. A choleric will be very offended that the whole people in that restaurant will notice how irritated he is. First, he's irritated because he's impatient. Secondly, he's irritated because of the mistake, the blunder that the waitress or the waiter has committed. So if you have this temperament, if you have this personality, it is a very great temperament, a very great personality, but your weaknesses would make it difficult for you to associate or relate well with people. So you would have to take a look, sit back, look at these weaknesses and see how you can build on them. Do not forget, these are natural traits. I repeat, natural traits. Yes, it may not be easy, but whatever you set your mind to do, you can achieve it. If you set your mind to work on these weaknesses, if you set your mind to learn to tolerate people, if you set your mind to accepting people for who they are, their individual differences shouldn't matter. You should be able to create an adjustment. It's just like coming a 50-50 way, like coming halfway, from both ends. And you will realize that you can actually tolerate a sanguine around you. You can tolerate a phlegmatic around you, because phlegmatic are actually very slow people. That's why it is very difficult for a choleric to identify well or to relate well with a phlegmatic personality. So friends, please take your time to discover yourself better. When you do, I assure you, you will definitely have a better relationship with family and friends, especially with your partner. Know who you are, know your temperament, know your partner's temperament, and you will, or you should be able to create an adjustment that will help to align both temperaments for a better coexistence. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you like what I do. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.